What's up guys, my name is JX and welcome back to another Roblox video, and today we're playing Roblox Fish. So yesterday, on Saturday, the jungle expansion update, the Big March update released, and a lot of new rods came with it. I think it's 4 new bestiaries. No, it's like 3 new bestiaries, I think. A lot of new fish to catch, clearly new rods. So I'm going to run you through. This is a full guide on how to get all the different rods and everything like that. So what's gonna happen is that, oh god, not this again. You will need to first, you know what I'll do it. Let's go like this. Right. Can I, oh for God's sake. Right. When you're in the toxic grove, don't jump into the water because this happens, okay? That's the first thing. Don't fall into the water when you're in the toxic grove. I don't know. I used to call it toxic mire because I thought it was that. Right. I'm just going to... Right. So, the jungle expansion update is out. So, if you didn't already on last week, before this update, if you didn't get all the demolitionists, the demolition crew, for the toxic cave, then what you're going to want to do is, I'm going to try and do this off of memory. So first thing you'll need to do is to come around here, and obviously I can't go far in here because then it'll stop my boat, or will it? Yes, it will. No way. Alright, so basically you would come over to here. This won't be open for you. You're gonna come over to Oliver, and you're gonna speak to him. He's gonna ask for you to get some demolitionists, a demolition crew. So you need to make sure you go and get them from the oil rig. If you don't know where the oil rig is, it's literally right there. It's right by Roslet. Why am I holding the verdant oath? Right. If you want to know how to get verdant oath, stick around to near the end, or you can just skip to that part if you want. But I think this is one of the best. I think it's like the second best that came in the update. So right, the first guy is going to be here. He's going to want a banana. It's a secret caught in the pond at Ancient Isle. There's a guy here, I think. I don't remember what he wants. It will tell you in the quests, but there should be like one around here. He will want a puffer flute, I think. Something like that. One will want I know one of them wants a sea mine. It's not this guy, it's the guy inside. There would be a guy in there. He wants a sea mine, but I'm not exactly sure what he wanted. One of them would want a rubber ducky that's from Vertigo, Legendary in Vertigo. I don't remember what the final one wants, but once you do all their quests, oh, thank you very much for the person who did the Aurora. Once you've done all the quests, you are going to head back to Oliver at the Lost Jungle, and you'll need a gas mask. You can buy the gas masks for 75,000, right by the toxic cave entrance. So if you go over here, there is a gas mask. Make sure you've got this on, like that. And then you'll go into this cave. It's quite a big cave. The flower glider you will get from doing Oliver's quest and getting the demolitionist, so you will get this. But it's just your choice to use it. It's quite fast. Better than some other ones I know. Alright. This is important. You must not take this gas mask off no matter where you are in the toxic cave. In Toxic Grove. You can take off in the Living Garden, but I just wouldn't recommend it just in case you forget to put it back on, in case you do go back and forth. Alright. So the first thing when you get in here, you'll like see, if you've got your radar on, there'll be a lot of abundances. There's different quests to do, like this guy. And overall there's just a lot of stuff to do. There are also toxic boils like this. If you just go over to here, and like just, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to equip the decayed rod. Right, these toxic boils are the world's most annoying things. You've got 30 seconds to get a legendary out of here. So, like, I'm not going to get a legendary because these last for 30 seconds, and that's what's so annoying about them. Because you barely get any time to catch the fish. As you can see, I'm not going to get it. If you look at that, it's going to disappear in like 5 seconds. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, I was. Disappeared. Exactly. And so to get into the living garden, which I'll get onto in a minute, you will need a legendary from those toxic boils. And they're just frustrating because they spawn like every 5 to 10 minutes, and you won't even know they're there because there's not abundances. If you get close to it, it'll show toxic boil above it, or there'll be like bubbles in the water. Right. This is to get to the living garden. You need to speak to Olivia, and she's going to ask you to get either a Venomore or a Mycotide serpent, I think. Mycotide, I don't know. A serpent or a Venomore. Some type of serpent. And basically, when you get one of those, you go over to her and give it to her. And then after giving it to her, she will grant you this toxic proof raft. And then you'll be able to go to the shipwright. I would recommend favoriting it. It won't be at the top like mine, unless you favorite it. And then you can just spawn it, and then there's your raft that's over here for me. Which is so frustrating because if you fall into that toxic water, you are dead. I'm not going to go straight up to the living garden because I'm not done here. Okay, why did that happen? Alright. I'm just going to back up to here. So there are different quests. This guy wants a giant blight pufferfish. That's for a quest for the toxin burst rod, which I don't have. This guy wants a toxic widow bloom for another part of the toxin burst rod. And I'm not sure what else you need. You might get it from the Plagued Reaper, this guy. You get him a decayed Venomore, you get it from the decayed rod, and a toxic boil. Those things are really frustrating. So now what I highly recommend doing is before you leave here, if you want to get this verdant oath right here, make sure you complete the full bestiary. Things can spawn here. There'll be something called right, let me it's not the rock coil. The rot bloom. The rot bloom like this. This is heartburst, so it'll look different. But if you get the... So if it says the rot bloom is spawned in the toxic mire, I think. Fish here. Just do that. Make sure you have a long rod, because that's from the lowest point you can fish. But because when a rot bloom spawns, water from here will rise up and will go just to like there, so it's not recommended to be any below there because you will die, and if you haven't got your spawn points at here, you're most likely gonna lose it to someone else. Now there is the wither bloom. You don't need this to complete the bestiary. It doesn't count towards the verdant oath, but what you do if you want it, you'll need a blight idol. You'll use it and it'll turn into a wither bloom. And that's literally it. So complete the bestiary before you leave here, even if it's doing the toxic boils. I didn't do it because I didn't realise I had to, but but once you've done that, get the boat, go over this way, and also yes, it does consume the legendary fish when you give it to Olivia for this raft. This is very slow, I know. But basically what you're going to do once you're here, you're going to get off and you're at the living garden. Now you need to complete 2 more bestiaries for the verdant oath, also the living garden and the nectar den. So what you're going to do, you're going to see a lot of these flowers. if you open these flowers, it will give you a pollinated buff, or it always gives you the pollinated buff, but what it can also do is give you a seed. There's 4 seeds you can get: cyan seed, violet seed. Oh, hello. Okay, so if you open enough flowers, this guy's gonna spawn. And I'm getting sidetracked. And you need this guy for a different rod. You'll need the fish, so don't sell the fish. It's an exotic, not a mythic. It does look like it's a mythic because of the pink, purplish, whatever it is. I'm personally not going to bother because I have 3 of these, but I've just finished that. I'm not going to bother catching him. But there's a bestiary in here as well. If I go to Living Garden, right here, it's just above Lost Jungle. You got to complete the bestiary here. There is no secrets here, I don't think, out of my experience. Although I won't know because there is one. There is a secret in, what is it called? Toxic Grove, yeah. The Blight Idol is a secret. You can get it from, you can get one of them from a quest, or catching them from normally, or double the chance in a Toxic Boil. You can also get the Rotted Seed from him, from the Toxic Grove, which you'll need to complete the bestiary. But if I go, there's Nectar Den. It's quite frustrating, that one is. If I go back to Living Garden, there's all of these. Flower Guardian is the hardest to get, in my opinion. You can get all the seeds from literally just opening the flowers, like that. And you need a pollinated buff to get into the Nectar Den, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, you can plant your seeds here. It'll give you flowers like that. I can't claim that, unfortunately. I can't steal. Yeah, so I recommend completing the bestiary here if you want the bird nose. Obviously, if you don't, for some reason, don't complete it. Now, I've got a lot of progress speed on this because I have tryhard and immortal on, I think. I don't know if immortal is included. Yeah, it is. Let me actually check the stats. It gives plus 50% progress, so it gives plus 110. I don't know how much of this is forced. I think some of it is on, maybe none. But it's law speed 95, luck 300, control 0.1, and resilience 75. I know it says I have 0.0, but I actually don't. So what happens? Let me actually demonstrate with this. Once you fish with it, it'll do that, and it'll break open the wood. And this is no different, no matter if you have Herculean, or you could have tryhard on it. You could have controlled. You could have steady. It doesn't matter what you've got on it. Because what's going to happen is that, like, this is where Bird Nose is. The bar just gets bigger each time. And if you use one that makes the controller bigger, it's just going to make the wood bigger. If you use tryhard, it's just going to make the wood smaller. It doesn't do anything to the actual green bar. There's a diamond daisy. Oh, this also always gives mutation, which is actually quite nice. So make sure you complete the Living Guardian bestiary. I'm going to how to get the. I think it's like bloom spire rod. So if you go over here with the seed, you need the Flower Guardian for this. So if I just equip a seed, it doesn't matter where you plant these, by the way. You can plant them anywhere, but I'm just gonna plant it here. You plant the seed, and then you get a Flower Guardian out. That's going to happen. The Bloom Spire will come up, and you can buy that for 1.250 million credits. Just do that on the Bloom Spire rod. I don't know if everyone can buy it. That's the thing. I think they can. So then we're going to head over here. So if you want to pinpoint it, the Nectar Koi is here. They can just go straight through here, and here is where the Verdant Oath can be bought. I've already got it, so it'll say that. But so basically, first it'll say, if you haven't completed any of the bestiaries, you first must complete the Living Garden bestiary. And then it'll say, if you've done that and you haven't done the other two bit. Oh, right, Rock Bloom. Alright, I'm going to have to demonstrate in a minute. And then it'll say, I don't know if it's Toxic Grove or Nectar Den bestiary. I'll show you how to get to Nectar Den in a minute. But this is what I said about the Rot Bloom. So if you go here, you can get the rock bloom from the toxic mire, I think. Let me just check. Event. Oh, it doesn't say, but rock bloom hunt. Someone's used a blight totem, so that means it's transformed into a wither bloom, as I said it would. Here it is. Now, with the rock bloom, it's actually quite interesting. You can't just fish it out. As I said, the water will come up. What you need to do, I don't know if it's the same for the withering bloom. With the rock bloom, you need to come down here and interact with one of the mushrooms. If you don't do that, then you won't have a chance of fishing up the rock bloom. I genuinely don't know about the wither bloom. The wither bloom is secret, rock bloom is exotic. So I'm just going to try and catch it. I doubt I will. Because this thing is ruthless with the verdant oath. Because even though it has high resilience, 75%, it's not the best for a secret. Because I don't know if resilience affects it. Alright, when it says the wither bloom retreated, you have not got a chance of catching it. But when it's back in the pool, it means you do have a chance of catching it. And someone's trying to catch it with their mirror fox, and I'm expecting they will. Oh, someone's got a second one. But yeah, so the wither bloom is spawned by using a blight totem. As I said, you can catch the blight totem or whatever. Okay, they lost it. I'm most likely going to lose it if I catch it, but the nectar den is the final bestiary you need to complete for the verdant oath. I personally think it's a really cool rod. It's got really cool stats, and it's the third to the oath rods that there are. So as you can see, we all just wait until it's done. So you can see these mushrooms. They are a requirement for the rock bloom, because I've never seen someone catch a rock bloom without having collected the mushrooms. Me personally, I wouldn't waste your blight totem unless you have a rod that's really good and you know is most likely to catch it, because if you don't really want to waste a secret blight idol, do you? It's not blight totem, blight idol. I didn't say it wrong the whole time. But you don't want to waste one if you're not going to catch it. But like, it is a competition, which someone did do, but like, I just personally wouldn't waste it unless I knew I would catch it. Because it's secret, you kind of do. It's best to have a roar on to catch it as well. But I know you really want to know where the nectar den is. If you complete the Reaper quest, you get a really good rod. I don't remember its name. I'll have to find that in a minute after the video, but it will give a really good rod, I know that. Alright, this is getting stupid. The verdant oath can fish in the toxic place, clearly. I also just want to quickly mention, if I like just go and equip my cerulean fang rod, it's not going to let me fish in here. Like that. It acts like the volcano and the brine pool. You need invincible light, which I used my Cerebra for. I would just fish like that. So the Cerebra was from the Valentine's, but I just used the Cerebra for it because I had invincible on it for the Scoria Reach, but whatever. The Verdant Oath can't fish in Nectar Den. You need a mortal for Nectar Den. The Toxic Spire Rod can, because it's basically toxic. There are also other quests to get parts of the Toxin Burst Rod, which you will need for the Reaper quests. I don't know if the Bloom Spire can fish. Yeah. No, it can't. Alright. Let's just go. The ones that can fish there without mutations are Electric Guitar, Decayed. Decade's actually 2000. I thought the Daybreaker could. Never mind. What else can? Let me just. most of them you do need the enchant invincible to fish with. They are considering making invincible a secondary enchant as well. Duskwire if you've got invincible on it, because you can only use Duskwire if you have invincible. Eidolon can't. Hercules, the electric guitar can. I tested it. I'm not sure what else can. I don't think anything else can without an enchant. You just go to the very end. No. The Sweet Stinger. No, the Sweet Stinger can't for some reason. The Triad Rod can. I know the Triad Rod can. There you go. That's your example. Yeah, nothing else can, but those rods. Anyways, we're going to go back to the Living Garden, and we're going to go to the Nectar Den. The Nectar Den, personally, a lot of people find it quite annoying to do, because there's one specific fish called the Queen Bee Serpent. Looks like, oh, doesn't want to show, but basically it looks like the Depth Serpent but remodeled. That's basically what it is. So basically, to get to the Nectar Den, what you're gonna do, you go into the Living Garden, where you, if you didn't realize, I swear I said this, but spawn the flower garden, you've got to open all the flowers, I think. And you'll go into this verdant pocket, where you can get this little sword right here. And what's wrong with the particle effects on this? Alright, so as I was saying, to go into the Nectar Den, it's, see if you can spot it in here, because it is in here. You can see there's like honey dripping from these plants. You go in. Okay, no, don't go in there with nothing here. What you want to do, find a flower, open it. If you plan on fishing in there for a long time, open as many flowers as you can, because otherwise the bees will sting you. Let me just find some flowers to open for the pollinated buff. You need the pollinated buff, otherwise the bees are going to sting you to death, and they will sting you until you die, unless you escape. So you open all these flowers to get the pollinated buff. There, I'm basically showing you all the flower locations here. There's one around here, some over here. Yeah, open the flowers. There is one in here, right there, but that's open. And then you'll go back into here, and you're in the Nectar Den. Now, as I said, the Verdant Oath cannot fish in here because I tried it. It'll show the shake, but you'll be shaking infinitely. So if I just use my Cerebra and fish near, you can just do this. So this place acts like the depths. Every so often, this place, I don't know if it goes darker, but a Queen Bee Serpent hunt will spawn. It can be here, it can be anywhere in this pool, on the sides, not directly below, because that's mean. If you're wondering, you can jump in it and not die. It's basically normal water, but gives you debuff afterwards. But you can just go in here, it'll spawn in here somewhere. And the Queen Bee Serpent can spawn, you want to catch that. It's completely bestiary. You cannot get the Sweet Stinger, which I showed you. You can't get the Sweet Stinger without having the full bestiary of this area done. Fight. Hunt Focus. Nectar Bloom. Didn't know there was a Nectar Bloom. That might be a secret in here. But yeah, if I fish in here, I don't know what the possible on this rod is. It can obviously fish in here because you can buy in here, but don't know why they're surrounding me. Oh, they're taking the pollen. Oh, something like that. Yeah, I don't know what the seducing rod does. But once you've completed the full bestiary of this area, Toxic Grove and Living Garden, you will be able to get your hands on the Verdant Oath, which is my favourite rod in the game because my favourite colour is green and it's a sword and it looks cool. Come over here, you can buy it for 12,500,000 credits. Decently good stats, I love it. I've shown you the passive on it. It gives verdant or ballooned, I think. So this will be verdant, I think. And if you touch the wood on the sides, it'll basically just, I don't know if it, oh. Odd. If I just catch a fish with this, this looks like balloons. Yeah, that's ballooned. That's also ballooned. I think it's like a 95% mutation rate. Oh, that's verdant. That's verdant for you. Yeah, it gives 2 different mutations. Doesn't always give mutation early, but most of the time. And yeah, that's pretty much the full update. You need to make sure you have the gas mask. You don't need it on in Living Garden, as shown by this, but I just keep it on because in case I forget to put it back on. Because when you're on the boat going over this way, because to stop you from gliding over, it doesn't let you use any items. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The only rod I don't have is the one from the Plague Reaper and the Toxin Burst. There's also a Gardens Keeper. Wait, Toxin Burst and Gardens Keeper are from Ancient Isle. Let's go over there now. You know, I'm just gonna quickly try and catch this Mossjaw. I have not seen a Mossjaw in forever. Since I tried to get the Elder Moss Ripper and did not succeed. Oh god. So people still try. That failed. One more. Oh, there's a rock bloom. Yo. Yeah, so the bar gets bigger over time as demonstrated by this. Look at this, it's getting much bigger. I'm pretty sure the resilience decreases over time though. That's the thing, look at that. Yeah, the resilience is getting worse. Yo, Wisp. If you're watching my video, it's Immortal and Tryhard. There you go. I can't chat to you because I've got my chat suspended. Because I called someone a spammer in Rivals. And it doesn't like that. Okay, right. I'm going to head over to Ancient Isle. Tidefall's over there. Tidefall was last month if you care, but I don't care about Tidefall. I didn't like the update at all. But my opinion is not going to affect Fish devs. It was good in development wise, but I just didn't like the content. I know a lot of people did. Alright. So now we're at Ancient Isle. If you haven't been to Ancient Archives before, I am very sad, but you've got some catching up to do, my friend, because if you've not got this unlocked, unless you're new, if you're above level 1000 and you haven't got this unlocked, what are you doing? If you're new, you need 4 people with different fragments you can get around Ancient Isle. Let me look. Fragment. I don't have any. Earth. Yeah, I don't have any, but there are fragments you can get around Ancient Isle. I can't be bothered to tell you where they are, because it'll take too much time, and that's not the video point. I'll tell you where they are, I won't show you. One's by the waterfall, one you can catch, one's in the Phoenix Red area, and one's during an eclipse at the top. Right, you need this rod, which you basically need to have unlocked the moss jaw place for this rod. Why am I looking at these? This is... I would have gotten a violet lotus. This is the garden keeper rod. It's said to have grown in the living garden. Okay, you can give the floral mutation basically. This one, this rod is broken. Basically, every like 12 seconds or 30 seconds, it'll give you like 5 free fish. It's a hack to complete the bestiary. It's very good. But you need to do the very annoying quests, which I don't like. You might like them, but I don't. Mythical driftwood now. But yeah, these are the tidefall rod. Why am I like branching into another video? I don't know why. There's something wrong with me. But yeah, that's pretty much everything on the update, the jungle expansion update. Basically, it all starts at Lost Jungle. If you don't get the Verdant Oath, which I personally believe myself is the best and coolest rod there, which it isn't, but well, in my I think it's the coolest rod, but it's definitely not the best rod. It's the rod from the Reaper, which is better. But yep, that's how to complete the jungle expansion update. Make sure to return to my videos. I mainly do Fish, Garden Horizons, and maybe some other games quite soon. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye guys!